That's the greatness of Magic. That's the greatness of LeBron, and it's the greatness of Ben Simmons.
I'm a huge fan of Ben Simmons. I think he's a jump shot away from being LeBron James Part 2.
All these superstars can be in the room, but LeBron walks in, you feel something. You know, your hair stands up. It's just, you know that feeling?
Yeah.
Ben Simmons has that.
He reminds me a lot of LeBron more than Magic.
Ben Simmons was supposed to be the next LeBron James, and at 26 years old, he is one of the worst players in the league.
Nobody is worse than Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons might also be the weakest, most pathetic excuse for a professional athlete we have ever seen in not just American history, but the history of sports. I can't think.
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. It won't be long before you're playing point guard for the Guangdong Tigers.
This is a fall-off that will be studied for years.
Well, I'll tell you the guy to keep an eye on is from LSU is Ben Simmons. He's an Australian kid. He's 6'8", 6'9". He's got point guard skills. He's one of those players that they don't come around very often. Since guys like LeBron and Kevin Durant, there have been others that have been sort of in his neighborhood, but he's as versatile and good, a great, really, a prospect.
Ben Simmons had all the hype in the world at LSU. He was a 6'9" to 6'10" guy that could move like he was a point guard, make reads like he was a point guard, defend at a high level, unreal athleticism. Scouts fell in love with what Ben Simmons could be, and after putting up 19, 12, and 5 in his freshman year at LSU, there was no question about it. He was going to be the first overall pick in the NBA draft.
All right, so Magic Johnson has compared him to LeBron James. LeBron had said he doesn't mind the comparisons. Are you seeing the next LeBron and Simmons?
I don't want to talk about who's the #1 overall pick. I don't want to talk about it. There's nothing to talk about as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if you're an NBA team, if you're the Philadelphia 76ers, if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, you should be trying to lose every game. Not to say I'm advocating the Sixers doing it, because they've taken it to another level.
Brandon Ingram at 6'9" doesn't seem like he does, but he makes shots, and there's something about making shots.
But
your Sixers got to make some shots.
Coach, he's not this guy. He's not Ben Simmons, Coach.
Okay, Ben Simmons, zero bust potential. There is zero chance he'll be a bust.
Eddie Cardi, Ben Simmons next LeBron, if he can develop a jump shot. He has to shoot the perimeter shot a little bit more frequently. Ben Simmons is the truth, though. I love his game. I really, really do.
And the first pick in the draft, we believe it is going to be Ben Simmons. That's not a very well-kept secret. Here is the commissioner, Adam Silver, with the first pick in this 2016 draft.
With the first pick in the 2016 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Ben Simmons from Melbourne, Australia, and Louisiana State University.
Even with a guy like Brandon Ingram on the board, who was a great prospect himself, Ben Simmons was an extremely obvious and predictable first overall selection. Everybody knew it was coming. This guy was getting comparisons to LeBron James and Magic Johnson. Even LeBron James himself said that he was cool with the comparisons. Simmons really had all the hype in the world, but he wouldn't get a chance to deliver on it right away. Ben Simmons sat out the entire 2016 to 2017 season with Philadelphia. He rolled his ankle in training camp right before the season started, and it ended up causing a fracture in his foot. The 76ers didn't mind that though. They just got another year for them to tank for yet another high draft pick. This trust the process shit was crazy, man. They really ended up with the first overall pick again in the 2017 draft, which got them Markelle Fultz. Unfortunately, he also had some injury problems, but that is a whole different story in itself. Because Ben Simmons was back for the 2017 to 2018 season, his rookie year, so-called rookie year. And he was off to an amazing start in his first 19 games, averaging 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists while playing some good defense. But best of all, for the first time, the Philadelphia 76ers were winning basketball games. 19 games into the season, they had already won more games than the year they got the first overall pick for Ben Simmons. He was living up to the hype so far, and his next game was set to be against LeBron James, the guy that he was getting compared to. In the media, they were hyping this one up.
Stylistically, do you see similarities between him and that young LeBron?
Yeah, I mean, but look at the stat line. You know, a guy that do multiple things on the floor, a big guard, you know, from that standpoint. Exciting, so definitely.
two guys that Ben has drawn the most common comps to have been Magic and LeBron. Just from your observations, what similarities do you see between Ben and LeBron? Where do maybe some differences?
Just the size and the ability to handle and pass. They're both very dangerous in transition. Look, LeBron is, I think, the greatest player to ever play, and it's a tough comparison to make for someone who's played with 17 games. So LeBron is obviously in a different category, but I think it's a valid comparison from where LeBron was early in his career to where Ben is now.
But the Philly media talking with LeBron James was the funniest part of this whole situation because you could tell he was so annoyed with them.
LeBron, how would you describe your relationship with Ben Simmons? You guys worked out together and did some things together in the offseason.
What do you mean?
Just like how often do you talk to him, or what kind of advice?
We got a great relationship.
Comparisons do you think might be valid that people make to your game, and what similarities do you maybe not see between the two?
I don't know. I mean, that's for you. That's you guys. You guys do that comparison stuff. I think Ben is his own makeup of speed, power, quickness, ability to pass the ball, ability to have a feel for the game. And Ben is Ben, and I am who I am. So on and so on. So you guys kind of do that comparison stuff.
What in particular are you looking forward to about coming up against Ben?
It's not about me versus Ben. It's about the Cavs versus 76ers, and we want to continue to play good ball. They've been playing good ball, especially at home. So it's not about me versus him at all.
And LeBron James definitely owned this matchup versus the 76ers. 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists to Ben Simmons, 10 points on 11 shots with 2 assists and 4 turnovers. Up to that point, that was the worst one game. Ben Simmons continued to play at a really high level throughout the rest of the season, averaging 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists by the end of his rookie season, making him the heavy favorite to win Rookie of the Year, as Philly also finished third in the East with 52 wins. Everybody was on the Ben Simmons hype train.
It's in a decade, maybe once in a lifetime type player, able to make everybody better. He's got that head up, he's looking at all times. I mean, sometimes it looks like he's got eyes in the back of his head.
But you know why Doctor said that too? Doctor saw a young guy named Magic Johnson take over when a center went down and played all positions, and he's watching this kid do it right now in front of his eyes.
No question. And Dr. J's not one of those guys that just says things for...
He never compliments people.
Ever. That's so genuine.
The doc don't hand down her compliments.
That's legit.
Very strong, and that's a difference between him and a lot of other young players. Him and LeBron. He reminds me a lot of LeBron more than Magic.
Why?
I mean, one, because I came up watching LeBron more than Magic, but then two, the stuff that he's doing at an early age, and maybe a little bit of Magic, because Magic won a ring at his rookie year, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, maybe a little bit of LeBron and Magic.
Jordan walks in the room, he takes the air out. Same thing with LeBron James. All these superstars can be in the room, but LeBron walks in, you feel something. Your hair stands up. It's just, that feeling.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons has that. Those are the people that usually transform or transcend sports. And, sometimes there's guys that are just as talented, but they just don't have it.
And Ben Simmons, who's playing like a modern day Magic Johnson. He's putting up triple doubles.
But there was nobody that was more on board this Ben Simmons hype train than Colin Cowherd. This man was taking it too damn far.
Ben Simmons will not have to be a great shooter. Shooters are going to want to play with him. That's the greatness of Magic. That's the greatness of LeBron. And it's the greatness of Ben Simmons. Philadelphia, you think I hate you. I don't. You're just better at this point than I thought you would be. And it's not about Embiid. It's about Ben Simmons. Shooters will want to play with him.
No question. Everybody wants to play with a guy who dimes you up.
So my point is, if he's not a great shooter, but literally every veteran shooter's like, I'll take a pay cut and play with him, he'll get to championships. I woke up, and I wondered when Ben Simmons was playing. And I am more interested in watching Ben Simmons tomorrow night than I am watching LeBron tonight. Hey, LeBron, we're good, bro. You can go. You don't have to. You can hang around. Still great, but you can go. We're all good here.
The audacity to say some shit like this, man. A month later, the Sixers and Simmons were eliminated from the playoffs while LeBron was in the midst of one of the best playoff runs ever, so this shit definitely did not go well. But while the theme of Simmons' rookie year was massive hype around what he would be in the league, that hype slowly started to fade over the years. It faded into more of a question. It faded into a what if. What if Ben Simmons gets a jump shot? Because as a player, he was still the same as his rookie year. He took a defensive leap, but that certainly wasn't enough to meet all the great expectations he had with the Magic and LeBron comparisons. He needed to improve. He needed to get in the gym, work on his game, and get better. The discussion was now shifting into more of just wait until he gets a jump shot.
I'm going to believe that Ben Simmons been working on his shot.
Yes, he's got to get a jump shot. And he will. And I think he worked hard this summer already. I think he's going to come back and shock everybody.
I did a story with him a couple years ago. I watched him in a gym, and I watched him shoot three-pointers. I watched him shoot perimeter jumpers. I really believe he can do it. I think right now, if he wanted to be, he could be a 34% three-point shooter.
They need it badly, because if Simmons could shoot, I'd like Philadelphia to get out of the Eastern Conference, but he can't, and he doesn't.
He's a positionless player. He don't have a position.
And it seemed like we were getting stuck in that phase of just wait until he gets a jump shot.
Simmons is a jump shot away from being considered one of the top 5 players in the world. He's a jump shot away from being LeBron Part 2. At a 6'11" frame with those ball handling skills, those passing skills, that basketball IQ, it's a damn shame he hasn't worked on his jump shot because it's the only thing he's lacking.
I'm a huge fan of Ben Simmons. I think he's a jump shot away from being LeBron James Part 2. This brother 6'10", got a nasty handle, great basketball IQ, tremendous passing skills, an elite defender. He is something special. But that doesn't mean that he's immune to being ignorant from time to time. And to sit up there and to say with a straight face, it's not about shooting, it's about winning. Well, damn it, how do you win? You need to be able to shoot the ball.
Year by year, this was the discussion. It was the exact same. When is he actually going to develop that part of his game? When is he ever going to start taking shots in the game? We would see a guy like Giannis, who was a bad shooter, still take these shots in the game, and he would occasionally even make them. Ben didn't even bother shooting the ball. He needed to get better and work on his game. But at this point, it was just all hope for the idea of Simmons getting that jump shot and reaching the next level as a player. That was about to change. The 2020 to 2021 regular season was huge for Ben Simmons. His name was in the Defensive Player of the Year race. He was an all-star yet again and helped the 76ers get the first seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, did he develop his jump shot? Absolutely not, and the Washington Wizards would take advantage of that in the first round of the playoffs. They started doing the hack-a-Ben, send Ben Simmons to the free throw line because he is scared to shoot free throws. He shot 10 for 28 from the line against Washington, and his confidence was killed, which would really hurt him moving forward in the second round. And in that second round Hawks series, it would prove to be a disaster for Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers, and the jump shot Hawks were back yet again. But this time, it wasn't about hope and the light at the end of the tunnel that he will develop a jump shot.
To know what that was about, that's what he said. Just those mechanics right there.
This work on
That's the way I do it at the Y.
That's right. See?
Coming up short.
You think Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
The answer is very simple. Hell no. Not in Philly, at least. Because Ben Simmons' days in Philadelphia are officially over. I'm here to tell y'all that right now. I don't mean just in the Sixers uniform. I mean that Ben Simmons should not risk even being seen in the city this offseason.
During this whole season, he should have been working on Ben Simmons to not only work on his jumper in practice, but actually shoot them during the game.
Ben Simmons has not gotten any better since he arrived as a rookie. Ben Simmons can't shoot, but that's not his problem. He's afraid to shoot.
Trade Ben Simmons is what you're saying.
Absolutely, 1,1714%.
That might be the most absurd thing you've ever said on this show. Go ahead.
You can keep him, but you're never going to win with him.
He was terrible in this series, and passing up that layup summarized the whole thing. He didn't want to get fouled and shoot free throws, so he passed up what should have been an easy layup or even a dunk. And this is where the narrative changed. It went from, yeah, we believe in Ben. Once he can shoot, he will be an all-time great. He'll be like LeBron James. He can win championships. To what is now the 76ers will not be able to win with him. He should be traded. All this time, he was hyped up, but after years of not being able to deliver on that hype, everyone started giving up on Ben. You had time and you did nothing with it. That next season, Ben Simmons does get traded, but this was after not playing a single game for Philly since that game where he passed up an easy shot in Game 7. Simmons is sent to Brooklyn for James Harden, and now he has a chance to start fresh in a new city that doesn't hate his existence. But he still doesn't play the rest of the season with Brooklyn, even in the playoffs against Boston. You know what, man, that's okay. You're injured or whatever's going on, just sit out and come back the next year as an improved basketball player. Work on your game. You're apparently LeBron James 2.0 if you develop a jump shot, so work on that jump shot. Get yourself right. And he did come back that next season, but he did not come back as an improved basketball player. He came back as one of the worst basketball players and biggest liabilities in the entire NBA.
You put another big next to Ben, then you got to figure out what the spacing is around him. Then if you put a playmaker next to him, then you got to figure out what Ben looks like without the basketball. Then if you go small with Ben, then you got to figure out, can you rebound enough with him?
Not seem like, and I say this as someone that's been to 20-some Nets home games this year. I watched it in person. It does not seem like he wants to be out there.
This is a really, really bad situation for Brooklyn. It is pretty much inarguably now the worst contract in the NBA that they've inherited for the next 2 years that will weight them down as they look to retrofit their team.
Is he going to have the mental fortitude once he gets back healthy to reinvent himself as a role player? Because that's what he's going to be called upon to be going forward.
He was once supposed to be the next LeBron James, and apparently all he had to do was start shooting the basketball. And now this same player is being asked to reinvent himself as a role player because he is that bad. Can Ben Simmons even do that? Can he even reinvent himself as a role player? Because if not, I think we all know what's next for him.
Charles, who you got?
Yeah.
He's either playing in China or Japan.
China or Japan. We need to
That's
be
not the name of the
more
team.
specific.
Guangdong Tigers. Ni hao! Ni hao!
一支后卫，身高6尺10，身披10号战袍，本西蒙斯。